family day weekend. 2019, it's the big wild year, and I'm out with my two daughters, and we are fishing, hoping this is a catch and cook video. Nothing's happened so far. We've been out here for about an hour and a half on beautiful Lake Nipissing, and we are not very deep, but I did hear from somebody that they are catching fish in shallow, and we'll see if we're lucky. I'll give you a little tour around, show you all the things. So this is the Fatfish, Eskimo Fatfish. It's the big hut. It's like 8 feet wide, 14 feet long or something like that, so it's very spacious. You can see I can stand straight up in it. I got some clearance, mainly because Delphine was just out here, but she went to go do some other activities. She chipped out, there was probably 6 or 8 inches of hard snow in here, and she chipped it all out with my pot lid, and then we shoveled it out. You want to say hi? Hi, YouTube.
Hi. Hi.
Aww. Pretty good fishing company. What are you looking for?
Water.
Yeah, have a drink. So I brought my cot out because it makes a real good bench seat if you've got a couple people who want to sit all cozy together. We've got one rod down here. Probably won't run this today, but I did bring my portable buddy from Mr. Heater. I have my new offset handle auger that Delphine gave me for Christmas, which works like a charm. I have my tip up, which I built on the design that the Wooded Beardsman uses for his tip ups, and I forget, he saw his on a TV show back in the 80s, I think. Another rod down here. We'll probably drill another hole. I brought out a little gas range, and the kids are eating hot dogs. Gross.
Yum, yum.
Yeah? I've asked Mirka this, but do you think I'm a good daddy or a bad daddy for letting you eat so many hot dogs?
Good doggy. Big doggy. Big doggy.
Oh, one says bad daddy, one says good daddy. What I've got over here are, bear burgers for daddy.
Good big burgers for good daddy.
Yeah, lucky daddy. Uh-oh, that one went out again. You want to slide your hot dogs over, and maybe I'll just cook these on that grill. Just give them a little nudge. Don't burn your mittens, though. I'm having some trouble with this one element. You got room there still?
Did you just turn it off?
Well, I did just turn it off now because I didn't want it leaking. So, funnily enough, so I bought this in the fall and I never used it yet. Nice little 5-pound tank. Except I went to get it filled at a chain store, and the guy put 10 pounds of propane in here, and sure enough, on my way home it kind of started off-gassing in my car. I was driving along and I heard yep. We're out here with some of my students as well.
The thing was going to be frozen to the ground by the time I left.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I had to make an emergency stop on the highway, hustle this thing out, and then I ended up tying it to my roof. And what I did after that is there's a real propane place just down the highway, so I stopped there and the guy depressurized it for me, and he said it would be safe to use. And this is way better than lugging around and paying for those little 1-pound bottles. So even one time I might get a splitter on this, and then I can run my stove and my buddy heater at the same time. But you guys are warm, right? We don't need the heat on.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else have I got? My old backpack and a chair, some water,
Icing.
some icing, and some carrot cake that the kids baked. This is not Big Wild Year food. Whoop, there goes the icing. Look at that. A whole pile of minnows. I have this angle cooler and dry box, so got all of our food keeping unfrozen in there. And we're getting pretty close to perch prime time. It seems to be around noon on Lake Nipissing. Lots of activity between noon and 1:30. And I would be very happy to go home with a real big pile of perch. So I hope we're on a hot spot, and we'll give some updates through the day. I hear my bear burgers, so I'm gonna go check on those.
Yeah, can I see?
Oh yeah, those sound good.
Can I throw a piece of hot dog down in the hole of the fish?
Throw a hot dog piece. Why?
Because they don't put fire at.
Yeah.
And I'm full.
And you're full?
And I want carrot cake.
Well, cut it up into smaller pieces and then throw it down.
Okay.
See if we can catch some perch with hot dogs.
I'm going to put it in America's school.
Oh, dirty trick.
Hey, guess what? Daddy.
What?
We should put it on the fishing rod.
You could.
Instead of a minnow.
Could
They
do
don't
that.
float. Yeah. I mean, they do float.
Oh, okay. Well, so much for that idea. You want to lift that off for me? Oh, nice and steamy. Okay, I gotta be careful or it fogs up my camera. Oh, I can smell the leeks. Yeah, don't those smell good?
I smell tail.
And so again, with bear meat, you can have parasites. You have to cook it to a good internal temperature. Speaking of, I found some interesting information online, a reference in United States Department of Agriculture publication, I think. I bookmarked it anyway. And they talk about how long trichinosis can survive at freezing temperatures. And so if you have your meat in a deep freeze at minus 18 Celsius, over a certain period of months or days, trichinosis will also die. So I really wanted to, I tried to find the original reference for that data and I couldn't find it because the other information that they referenced but didn't show was how long you can cook bear meat at lower temperatures. So, you know, where it doesn't have to reach 160 degrees internal, but if you cook it at a lower temperature for a longer period of time, trichinosis also dies. So most people know you need to cook it to a minimum internal temperature, but there are other ways you can kill that parasite with heat and with cold. And I did email one of the authors and I'm waiting to hear back. I would love to get that information and then put it out there for everybody. So what I've done here is use my pelican sled as a tabletop, and that keeps it inside the hut too so it doesn't blow away in the wind if you're having a windy day. Look at these. So I think, I'm not sure the order of my videos, but either the video previous to this or within the last 3 videos is one where I went to my family camp and shoveled the roof. But after shoveling the roof off, I also, or in the middle of, cooked a bunch of bear burgers. And they were really fantastic. And I made some pine needle tea up there. And I did bring some herbal tea with me, so I've got a thermos of that. And that should carry me through the day till I get to supper time. Oh, I'm getting hugs. Okay, what's going on in here? Ooh, that's a lot of steam. Look at those. Mmm. They're juicy. Get that window out of the background. Mmm. They're really good. You want a bite? No? Almost too hot to eat. The leeks are really good in these, and so convenient to just pop them out of the freezer and cook them up. They're perfect alcohol. What are you laughing at? You understood what I said, right? No?
No.
Well, if you didn't understand what I said they're perfect for a day like today. Mm-hmm. All right. No fish. No fish anywhere yet, but we'll put on the buddy heater. We'll run it for a bit, but it makes a lot of condensation inside the tent, so we won't run it too much. But it's already gotten pretty warm in here. Your pants weren't flaming, they were evaporating.
Smoking.
Yeah. It's the moisture coming out of them. If you did your zips up on your boots a little bit better, then they wouldn't be dragging in this slushy slush.
Well, I can't pull them up, they're too long.
And then Esmeralda said, I love ice fishing too! Is that what you're reading?
No.
Oh. What's it about?
Designing.
Oh, designing.
No, it's about drama.
Oh. Ice fishing drama?
No.
Designing ice fishing clothes?
No. They're designing nothing about ice fishing.
Oh, weird.
Or
Okay. Well, you go live in your little fantasy world then of design. And I will live in my fantasy world of ice fishing.
Ice fishing.
Any bites yet? No. Hopefully soon. We didn't just leave the rod underwater. Look at all this water in our...
At least the
Inside
minnow might
here.
be alive still.
So the water is coming up out of the holes, and then some of it's melting from our heater. So we're gonna
Fish.
pack it up. We haven't really got a bite yet, though we did lose 2 minnows mysteriously.
And one of them has a bitten tail.
One of them seemed to have a bite on its tail. But we're gonna pack it up and do something else with our day. So I guess this is not a catch and cook video. It's just a family day adventure with some good bear burgers.